Hey everyone, I'm super excited about today's video as we'll be discussing sciatica, which is a term you've heard many times, but unfortunately it's used as an umbrella term to describe anything in the pain in the buttocks or back of the leg region. But actually true sciatica, where the nerve root is compromised, is actually incredibly painful and quite rare. For those who don't know me, my name is Dr. Zach Greenway at Performance Sport and Spine in Seattle, Washington. And by the end of this video, you'll know what causes sciatica, how it presents, does the disc heal over time, kind of what your timeline is going to be until your pain is better, and then what to do and what not to do. And all of this is going to not need medication or surgery. If you look at our spine model here, this is our low back, our lumbar spine, we got our pelvis, and our hip joint for reference. These white things are the bones or vertebrae. There's holes on all of the sides where these nerves or yellow things come out. And then these discs are in between the bones that act kind of like cushions or shock absorbers. Well, sciatica, this nerve root is getting irritated or compromised. Now, it's most common disc herniations, but other things like bone growth, tumors, or fractures can also cause this. But for our purposes, we're going to assume that the nerve is irritated by a disc. Now, there's two types. There's radicular pain, where there's inflammation of the nerve root that causes pain down your leg. Or there's compression of the nerve root. So think a garden hose is getting pinched, and that can cause loss of muscle weakness, reflexes, or numbness. Or you can have both. And the L4 nerve root will do the front of the leg, and the L5 and S1 typically do the back of the leg. Now, what causes these disc herniations? Well, the biggest thing is genetics. Some of us, unfortunately, don't have great disc. But things like smoking, being overweight, high blood pressure, or very physical manual jobs with a lot of bending can irritate these discs. Surprisingly, with these disc herniations, 2/3 of the time, so more than half, is spontaneous. There's not going to be a specific event or anything that you did. It's kind of genetically pre-programmed, unfortunately. So now that we know what caused it, let's talk about what it feels like. So sciatica is one of those things, if you think you have it, you don't have it. It's incredibly painful. It's 8, 9 out of 10. It's some of the worst pain you're ever going to feel. Some other characteristics are your butt is going to burn, your leg pain should be more severe than your back pain. The leg pain should go past your knee. It's not going to like stretching. When you stretch your nerve, it stretches it out, decreasing oxygen, which causes more pain. So if you have sciatica, stop stretching immediately. You may also have that numbness, loss of reflex, or muscle weakness. And there's some nerve tension tests, such as the SLR, the straight leg raise, or the slump test that should reproduce your pain. Now we need to talk about how strong this disc is. You may have heard the term your discs are slipping, or seen this model where someone bends the spine and this balloon pushes out, thinking that the disc can kind of just bulge out. And it can, but the disc is much stronger than this. So this model kind of promotes fragility and weakness. Think of like a concrete tire with cement. This disc is crazy strong, but like all tissues, it can get injured. So this disc can bulge or herniate a little bit, but the whole unit does not move or slip. So just because your pain is really intense, that has to do with inflammation of the nerve root, not the whole unit moving. I remember being in grad school and hearing the term disc herniation and being like, man, that's super sucky. If you have it, you're pretty much screwed unless you get surgery. But it turns out there's tons of research that shows that these discs heal over time just by your body through a process of inflammation and your immune system. And what's awesome and super crazy is the bigger that the disc herniation gets, the faster your body heals because it thinks it's more threatening and a bigger deal. So a timeline for this is 1/3 of people will feel a lot better in the first 2 to 12 weeks. 1/3 will feel a little bit better, and unfortunately about 1/3 won't feel any better. And most people see the most improvement within those first 12 weeks, and about 50% of people will feel no pain at 1 year. However, there's about a 20% reoccurrence rate. Also, if you have horrible sciatica pain, again, this pain is physiologically and psychologically debilitating, your body is going to heal it at a certain rate. So think of my finger as your spine, and there's a cut, which is a disc herniation. The more you bend it, the slower it takes to heal. So this is more of a problem working around it than trying to fix it with a certain exercise or technique. And you want to be as healthy as you can and stay active to tolerance. But this is something you work around, you don't try to fix. And the more you try to fix it, think of that scab, you're just popping open that scab, slowing the healing down. So you want to make sure that you eat healthy, sleep well, do walking that kind of pumps the fluid into the disc to heal it. But if there's certain things you're doing that are just irritating the hell out of it, you gotta stop because it's gonna slow down the healing time. One thing with back pain, think of it as a symptom, not a cause. Different things can cause your back to hurt, similar to a headache. So about 85% of back pain is called non-specific back pain, which means we don't really know what specific tissue is causing your pain. Your pain is real, but it may be a combination or a regional irritation than a specific structure. 5 to 10% of back pain is this sciatica pain. There's nerve root compromise or inflammation. And then 1% is serious pathology. So think fracture, infections, cancer, or something else, spondyloarthropathies. Also, there's a video here, other tissues in your body can refer pain down your leg. So just because you have leg pain, again, you don't have to know that it's sciatica. You have to kind of use this criteria to determine that it is. So your hip joint, your SI joint, and your lumbar spine can also refer pain down your leg. If you want to check that out, here's that link. Now we gotta lastly talk about the myths surrounding sciatica. And this is where when you're watching videos, you really need to watch videos that are supported and collaborated by research papers, not people's just opinions or saying it. I've heard people say that your glutes are shut off, that's causing your sciatica, you have poor posture, you have vitamin B deficiency. This is all nonsense. The research states that these are caused by genetics and poor health and people that have manual lifting jobs. So again, it's about how much you're bending your spine, not how the form of it. So if you bend it once or twice, you're fine. But you have to bend it hundreds of times a day, every day, it's just too much total volume. And again, with posture and sitting, inactivity is correlated to this. So if you're sitting a lot and not taking a lot of steps, that may be problematic. But it's not because you're sitting in bad posture that's causing it. It's you need to move more. So if you sit for 4 hours, but then you go on a walk and lift weights and do other stuff, you're fine. But if you sit for 4 hours and then you drive home and then sit all day, that becomes problematic. Again, if you have disc issues and you're smoking, really try to work on reducing that. Losing body weight can definitely help. Thank you so much for watching our video on sciatica. We really hope you found it helpful and informative, and this is the best evidence-based advice that we can give you. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and then don't forget to check out our other great videos.